That is fair.
Yeah.
Because you talk about time, and you are very, very busy. Obviously, wedding photography, you do take a lot of time in it. But how do you track everything? Like, what are some tips and tricks that you've done to be able to just make your life a little bit easier because you're so busy?
I guess busy is how many weddings you take, how many shoot you want to take, and how many projects you come in. One of the biggest challenge that I have now, even now, is how much edits I have on my list, on my queue.
Edits.
Edits.
Post-production.
Because, yeah. So imagine you have 2 cameras and you might have a second shooter with 2 more cameras. Oh. Right. And you would shoot, let's say, a 10-hour day.
That's 30 hours worth of footage.
That's, yeah, not just footage, but photos and footage. And you go through all your photos. And not only that, you have to pick the photos that you are feeling, oh, this is the photo. It takes a lot more hours than just your 30-hour that you see in your cameras, right? So just imagine how much time that needs. After that, you have to put that into a good story. You have to separate them between what we call highlight and just general photos. Highlight is the best of the day. It tells the story. And you've got to edit those ones to the way that you feel the best. And again, because we have outdoor, indoor, backlit, front lit, lighting is very different. The way they edit is also very different. So one edit could take us about a month just to edit. And then you need a QC, you need to pick photos, you need to process, you need to export, you need to put it in an album. It takes a couple months sometimes, right? Nowadays, it's a little easier. We have trained a few more editors that helps us on the general edits. We do our own highlights, but there are certain people who can help us with the complete edits, like the rest of the edits, right? It's just the prime stuff. We want to touch it ourselves, right? But then again, when we have those weddings, then we can't edit enough of the commercial, which the commercial sometimes, most of the time actually, commercial takes precedent because they are a 7 days delivery. But weddings, we usually say 2 to 3 months. So that stack of queue right now is my most, it's just a huge list. And how you manage this list versus how many hard drives you have, because it's a stack of hard drives, SSDs, hard drives, NAS, online storage, all that you need to manage them properly. Because the first thing you come back out of the shoot, just like right now, we need 2 backups. We ourselves need 2 backups right away. So that first storage goes into a hard drive. We call it an active drive. Second, we need a backup drive. And then third, for security, we put it onto the cloud. So there's 3 copies. And that's just for the raw, not even the edits. Then we take the active drive and we start editing, right? But then after you finish, you have to back up to every single little thing. And we have to do another area where we need to deliver. So it's a long process, but for safety and security, we need to have that.
So for one raw photo, it could get thrown 9 places is what you're telling me. Up to 9. Wow, that is so much. I could only imagine the amount of workflow. Actually, how many clients do you have right now? How many edits do you have right now at this time? Ballpark, just
20 edits I need to do? Yeah. Yeah, I need to go and edit, by the way.
Oh my goodness. Oh, actually, speaking of editing though, AI. Obviously, AI is starting to come into place. AI has made leaps and bounds, especially for video editing. You can literally just, if you had the setup for, say, podcasts, camera, throw your thing, AI will boop, 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 do all the shots for you. Well, that's like a podcast, right?
Yeah.
But for photos, that's very different. Can AI actually even help at this point or not at all?
We've tried a few AIs. AI is good if you have a standard delivery, because AI is still learning. So I haven't got to that point yet, but I've known some photographers who got to that point where they have actually been able to use AI to edit a full wedding. And it takes time for you to educate an AI to mimic the model that you shoot and you edit. Now, remember when I said about the edits, it's 2 process. First, you have to pick the right photos, and second, you have to edit the right photos, right? So picking the photo is a very big challenge, because an AI is hard to tell whether you want to have a photo that is eyes closed or eyes open, right? Because it's very personal. You might have an eyes open shot, but her expression might not be as good. You might want to say, oh, I want a close eye, but then it looks beautiful. So which AI is not going to be able to tell you that. So you have to calibrate that AI to say, okay, if there's a choice, then this is what you pick. So that's why we still pick the highlights, the best of the day. And the rest, we can let AI choose, or editors to choose. And they can edit the way that it's mimicking what we finish from the highlights. So it is doable. AI is getting there. We don't currently use AI because we just never had the chance to train it.
But so you're saying you have this AI ready to go, you just haven't trained it yet, or have really?
Yeah, it's ready.
Did you make it? Did
No.
you buy it?
No, we had to subscribe to it.
Subscribe to it.
Just like ChatGPT, right?
Can I ask you what AI it is?
It's called Aftershoot. We'll try Aftershoot.
Aftershoot.
Yeah.
Interesting. Do you know how long Aftershoot's been around for? It's pretty new, right?
4 years, I think. We've actually, when they first got launched, I already subscribed for the first year. I couldn't figure it out, and I just stopped. After a second year and the third year they came back and there's a founders package, and I tried it I didn't even try for the founders. I just tried another month, and I still couldn't figure it out because it takes time, and I don't have that patience.
It's quite nuanced with the technology and everything.
Yeah, and now they're, I think, 4th or 5th year, and they're doing pretty good. But I already lost that founder's right to it. But I'm still paying for the full package. I'm still paying for subscription, but I just don't have enough time to train it. But it is available.
How do you train it?
So it learns, you upload a lot of your previous edited projects, and it learns from those edits. Again, I haven't actually tried it yet. I only upload maybe 7 projects, but if I were to spend more time in it, I'm sure that it's going to help us more.
But when you say time, is it not as simple as just drag, drop, let it do its thing, or do you have to do more to it to train it?
We have I guess it is, I just have to find time to actually find the right project to put in. Because there's certain projects that you want to train it with, right? Just like IG, you want to only post the good stuff on IG, but there's certain edits that you do. Oh, it's okay, it's mediocre, but it's good, but it's not the best. You want to put the best out.
So you're really fine tuning it to make sure that the product you're getting isn't like 80%. You want it to be like 90, 95%. The way as close to 100% that you would like to get there.
Yes.
Which is why it takes so much time to find, because you're already so busy.
Yeah.
How would you solve that problem though? Because it sounds like it could be, I don't know if it is a problem for you right now. Obviously you don't have time, but it sounds like AI would be very helpful. But how would you get to it if you're so busy with edits, running everything?
Well, we have winter.
Wait, does it actually get slower in winter?
It does. There's less weddings, and we don't take as much destination wedding, or we don't take as much commercial. Then yeah, we have our time to ourselves. But then you would probably want to spend time with the family and other things and other development. So which comes with the R&D. The other solution is you see these eye bags. You just don't sleep. Just keep working.
Don't sleep. When you talk about family, obviously you're very busy. Has it been challenging with like family being able to spend time with them? Like how is someone like you who's so busy able to find the time to spend with them? And do you feel like it's not enough? Because you said that, imposter syndrome, never feeling like you're good enough. Do you feel like sometimes you're not a good enough family man?
I do. You nailed it again. It's I admit, because the last 10 years to develop So Wedding has been every weekends, because weddings is every weekend. It's all Saturday and Sundays.
That's a BCP time.
Yeah, and that's when your kids are free. That's when your family might be more free, because my wife works 9 to 5 on a weekday, right? So when you don't have enough time for them, you kind of feel not as comfortable right now to say, but yes, but my wife has been amazing because she's such a good supporter. We have had a lot of fights about our timing because I'm never home, and when she gets sick, even when she was in the hospital, I wasn't there because I was shooting a wedding. So it's immensely, you need to have someone that really supports you into doing this. Without that, it's really impossible for getting to achieving what I want. Obviously, everyone's different, right? Every photographer may be different. Some of them might have a even better support, or they just don't need that support maybe. I don't know, but it's not something for me to judge. But for my situation I'm very lucky to have my wife supporting me all these years, and she's still supporting me through this. So,
how long have you been married for?
13 years, 14 coming.
That's almost the same amount of time since you've been a wedding photographer.
Yeah, this is a funny thing when you bring it up. I actually got married I looked at my photographer and I said, you know what, maybe I can try that, and I did. That's right after, and I said, yeah, I'm done with IT. It's a life changing thing. Getting married might change your profession.
Wait. Because you told me it was like a friend asked you to come out and take some photos with you at night.
It all happened about the same time.
Oh.
Yeah. So I think before I got married, I'm already shooting 1 or 2 weddings, but you would not think about using that as your main career, right? And I'm still working, right? And it's a very bold move that you would just change career.
So you cold dropped IT, went like, I'm done, and just all in wedding photography, or are you still kind of working in IT, making some money, and still doing wedding photography?
Both, kind of. Yeah. I couldn't remember back then. It was too long ago. But I think my mind has already left what I was doing. It's a mechanical, automated system yourself that you keep on working on what you need to do. But there's a point where you go, okay, you know what? It's good. There's changes to it.
No, that's fair. So it sounds like you were able to really transition. It's really interesting that, because we're 13 years married, 13 years in wedding photography. Would you say, having dealt with so many wedding photographies, that you yourself would be an excellent relationship coach?
Oh, no.
Really?
Oh, no. I can teach you how to be a good wedding photographer. But relationship-wise, it's because we only see the side that is the prettiest, that the most intimate, the most happiest. That's why this job is great. Most wedding, or almost every wedding, is a joyful wedding. It's a joyful event. It's a party, and it kind of gives that adrenaline for yourself that you're like, this world is positive, 100%. When you go home, you're like, edits. But you look forward to the next wedding. And that kind of keeps you going and going, and it's always happy.
Has there been, obviously with weddings, it's the highlights, right? But for you personally, has there been a very low moment in your career when wedding photography where you had to overcome something, or something that really happened that really put a roadblock in your way?
I wouldn't say photography itself is, but the wedding business itself is.
What do you mean by that?
So the most obvious was COVID, but before that, it is also the same issue where you would have a shift in, say, photography team, your own team. Let's say you would go, oh, I'm missing 2 or 3 photographers or videographers, or just, again, staff issues, labor problem, right? And you have a chunk of wedding that's coming in. I've been very lucky, even though I have had photographers come in and out, come in and leave. They leave at very good time. They actually are mutually respectful, and they would leave, let's say, in the end of a season.
Slow season.
Yeah, so it gives me enough time to train new people, right? And I think that's where the struggle is because when you've tried to train so many people, and at the end of the day, they're not going to be with you permanently. Like, it's not a career for a lot of people. It's struggle to give your 100% and train.
Because they're gonna revolving door.
Yeah, but again, like I said in the beginning, I think most industry has that issue, right? But I'm happy to see that my photographers and videographers has their own career and has their own businesses and they're striving, and that's what makes me feel, at least I did some good.
Legacy, you left something and passed it on.
Yes, this is a very fun career, and if you have the stomach for that, and you like travel, you like to have that stress of a wedding bride. Some brides could be a handful. Some of them would be
Bridezilla?
Some of them groomzilla too.
Oh, really? Yeah. Really? That I've ever really heard before. It's always bridezilla.
There are some, but they are on the wedding day because they're high stress, high tense. It does happen.
That's fair.
Right? But after that, everything is fine. They are back to their normal self, and you see how great of a person they are. And it's just fun seeing all those changes up and down.